Hey guys, so we got kind of a interesting little story today, just kind of a quick little dive. So this story had been making the rounds on 4chan for a little while. So this doll, supposedly cursed Annabelle doll that was featured in the Conjuring movies, is going on tour. So as of recording this video, it is on a continental US tour where basically you can pay money, pay tickets to see this cursed doll close up and get your picture with it, fun stuff like that. And so that people were already kind of talking about that. And the reason why this kind of has been blowing up again is that one of the lead organizers on the tour just passed away unexpectedly. And so that's kind of like a weird thing, right? We'll kind of talk about it. The idea that someone involved in transporting this supposed cursed doll that is dangerous or can attack people. One of the lead organizers passes away, so that's kind of weird. But like just right off the bat, it doesn't seem like there's anything nefarious. At least on the outside, it seems kind of just like a natural occurrence. But we'll look into this a little bit more. So I haven't seen the Conjuring movie, but I remember seeing this doll featured on one of those Discovery Channel or Travel Channel paranormal shows way back in the day when I was little. So I do remember seeing this before, thinking it was really weird. Basically that there's this elderly couple, Ed and Lorraine Warren. I believe, according to this article, that they're both now deceased. But basically they have this, what they're calling like a cult museum, which is basically a collection of kind of odd little trinkets, things supposedly cursed or have some kind of supernatural properties to them. And so what it seems like for here is, they're both deceased somewhat recently, and it looks like it says here that their nephew, John, is seeking a new home for all this stuff. So, kind of an interesting situation to be in. I don't know if he's like inheriting their whole estate, or if it's just this thing, or if it was willed to him that he should take care of it. I don't know. But, imagine your aunt and uncle pass away and now you have their garage of all this just like brimming with evil energy, and it's your job to find somewhere to house it before the rent expires or something. What a strange situation to be in. And I'm assuming their nephew John is involved in the tour in some way. Basically, my understanding was they took this doll on tour. So this doll is one part of this whole museum. But from my understanding, the doll is like the only thing, part of this museum that is like on tour. It's not like the whole museum is not on tour, which makes sense because the doll seems like the star attraction. So you want that front and center. Also, you don't want to be moving all this stuff. It could break in a U-Haul could break down or something like that. So yeah, I'd heard about the tour, and then what was grabbing headlines was that one of the lead guys organizing the tours passed away, which is kind of funny because when you watch these videos from the people running the museums and stuff, they seem pretty genuine about believing in the kind of like the supernatural properties of the Annabelle doll, as well as kind of the rest of the things in the museum. So like for me, I'm a pretty skeptical, kind of cynical, jaded guy. But they seem pretty genuine, and they seem like,
so when Warner Brothers went
they're
to
doing their due diligence,
Mattel and said, "Hey, can we use your doll
and
for
storing
a horror
all
movie?"
this,
They were like, "No."
transporting it.
Yes. Okay. So, are we
So
safe
this guy will
here
explain to here.
with the doll?
As safe as one can be, right? I mean, we are taking precautions. Okay, the case is blessed. Everything about it is intentional. We have a Roman Catholic priest that's been traveling with us and will be present at all times. And as long as no one does anything stupid or provokes, everyone should be fine. We're here on standby too,
Okay.
with holy water, holy oil. I mean, we take this very seriously.
I mean, you even have holy water for us before we leave, right? And I'm all
That's interesting. So they have a Catholic priest as part of the tour, for good measure. So I guess this would be like the regular equivalent of like a bodyguard to make sure nothing, gets too spooky out of hand. And then holy water, I guess, as a, deterrent. It's also kind of weird because they have the devil like tarot card, but then if the case is blessed and there's like a tarot card representing the devil, doesn't that like neutralize it? For those that aren't Catholic or didn't grow up Catholic, Catholic priests are pretty much some of the more conservative people like on the planet. So I don't imagine he'd be too keen on that.
Tell. And
I'd be
hey,
interested
can
to
we
find
use
a
your doll for a
like an
horror
interview
movie?
of this
They were
guy.
like, no.
Yes. Okay.
I wonder if he's like a retired priest or something that isn't doesn't have other responsibilities. Really, really kind of interesting place. And then I think on the next one, yeah. So Dan Rivera. So this is the gentleman that just passed away. Condolences to his family.
And once we entered into the museum, that pendant flew off the case and flew across the room. I thought that was very strange, but it caught me off guard.
Yeah, so he's describing kind of paranormal occurrences that occur with this doll. And like I do believe that he's being sincere, that he does, genuinely believe there's a paranormal aspect to it. If we assume that he's not just, grabbing for money, he's being genuine. So for him to die in like unexpectedly as part of this tour is kind of strange. And then this one shows like the whole museum.
4 across the chest, 3 across the stomach, like some psychic wounds. Claire, so he'll be able to take her.
Also, this guy just like
touch Annabelle,
opens it.
Open the case up.
No.
I built this case to represent Ed's original case.
And then there's
I
Dan
added a couple
Rivera
extra
again.
things for our protection as well your protection when you come to.
Yeah, so these guys are all about protecting it and making sure it's safe. But then this guy opens.
Take her.
Don't open it.
Of course, we're not going to touch Annabelle, but we're going to
Letting out all the
case
bad
up.
energy and the devil or whatever, man. Don't do that. And so this article is kind of talking more about it. It seems like Dan Rivera, died in his hotel room during a visit to Gettysburg. It looks like final results could take several months. I mean, which makes sense. But it says coroner's office personnel said the death did not appear suspicious. He was found alone in his hotel room. Yeah, so that's like pretty open shut. If he died from like some kind of freak accident, or something like that, or some very strange occurrence, even someone skeptical like me, that would kind of cause me to think twice about it. But if he was alone in his hotel room, there's no signs of anything suspicious, anything weird. It's sad, it's unfortunate, but people die randomly like that. Could be natural causes. He could have some kind of health condition. So even with me being a skeptical person in mind, this seems like something that would have just happened anyway. Also, traveling kind of affects your body quite a bit. That's not something that gets talked about a lot. Even though if you've ever traveled recently or just in general, like that can take a toll on your body. So, I mean, you're not going to die from traveling, but there could be an existing condition that kind of exacerbates that. I'm not saying that's what happened here. I'm just saying, like, in general, weirder things have happened. And then this one kind of talks about it a little bit more.
On July 13th, where he was receiving CPR treatment, one day after the 54-year-old was overseeing a tour with the Raggedy Ann doll, a well-known relic among the paranormal community and fans of the Conjuring film franchise. The horror series inspired by the work of Lorraine and Ed Warren, with the late supernatural investigators once claiming the Annabelle doll was demonically possessed.
Yeah, so kind of just an interesting situation all around. And then this is his Instagram page. And then one of these recent posts where he's kind of promoting it here. So this is kind of interesting because, I mean, they want to sell the tickets, so, they're hyping it up. And so you get a chance to take a picture with the doll. But then if you believe that it's haunted or it's cursed, well, it says under strict supervision, observation, right? So they got wiggle room, and then they got a priest on standby, so that's pretty good. So this is kind of just like interesting thing, like if they genuinely believe that it's dangerous, but also come take your picture with it. But if I believe that, why do I want my picture with it, right? Wouldn't that like trap the negative energy in the picture? You know? And then this is interesting too because looks like it's part of like a horror convention, which let me know if you've ever been to one. I've been to like anime conventions and stuff like that, but not like a horror convention. What would that even be? And then so this is like separate from that, so this would be like an event at the convention that you'd pay extra for. So that makes sense to me if you were already like at that convention anyway. I get that. Though I wonder if any of these tours are like not part of convention and it's just you go somewhere and you take a picture with the doll. That seems pretty mid. But if it's part of like something else is going on like a convention, then I could see that. You know, like I'm just trying to think of my experience for money. If people want to go take their picture with the doll and pay money for that, that's fine, but that just seems kind of mid. And then here they're promoting it. Or saying happy birthday. Yeah, I guess like let me know, like is this something that you would do, or like do you know anybody that would do this? I guess in terms of like situation one, would you go to a horror convention with like all this creepy occult stuff? And then to the other level, would you go to like an event like this where there's other things, or like I don't know, kind of like a convention I guess where it's like panels or something like that? And then would you go pay money just to like take a picture with the doll? Even if you're like the biggest, I guess if you are like a big Conjuring fan or like a big horror movie fan, I could see that. Yeah, this is where they're... It's not... Yeah, it's only the doll and torn out the whole museum. Maybe it's an effort to raise funds to like relocate the rest of the museum. And then you're just purchasing tickets. Maine, Rock Island. This seems like the East Coast. Don't know where Scarefest is. Never been to a horror. This sounds like a convention. Event details. I don't know. It might be fun. Maybe I should go. Yeah, kind of just a strange little thing all around. I guess let me know what you guys think. How, on a scale of like 1 to 10, how much would you want to go to an event like this? And then are you on a scale of like complete skeptic, like no way? Or are you like pretty much complete skeptic, but like you can never be too sure. Someone died unexpectedly on the tour, you know? What are the odds it happens to me, you know? That's pretty much where I'm at. I'm really skeptical, but like, why take my chances? Or you just complete 100% believe it. Yes, this is, you know, if I do anything bad or disrespectful to the doll, then I'm gonna suffer some very unfortunate accident. And I can go for fun, but I need to show complete respect and not do anything bad or weird. Yeah, kind of an interesting story. Let me know what you guys think. I'll keep browsing for kind of interesting looking stories, and I'll keep you guys posted. Have a good one.